Well, hello again, everybody. I'm going to pop that in, and we're going to pop that in. And everybody has popped in here, and this is Street Fighter II, the Special Champions Edition. And what's special about this one is the fact that this has a custom color palette and improved and enhanced audio to make it sound more like the arcade. So we're going to wait for a second for a couple others to come in. We're going to send out a tweet about this real quick. And I actually need to change controllers here because I have the 3-button. And the 3-button controller is going to suck. Sorry about the mic noises there. Hey John, how you doing? You missed our first live stream. This is a second one of the evening. We're going to get this rolling in just a moment. We were testing out some Toe Jam and Earl earlier tonight, some Mickey's Castle of Illusion, and Animaniacs. And let me just send this out real quick, and we will get rolling. Actually, I had some technical issues which caused us to drop out of the stream just a few moments ago. I'm going to refresh my page here too. OBS is a resource hog, I gotta say that. Got to say that. So how you doing, John? I'm glad to see you stop by. Got off work and had to drink to ease all the stress first, bro. Dude, there are days I don't drink. There are days I wish I did. I can absolutely relate. So I'll share this story with you while we're waiting on a couple people to come in. So with this cartridges here, this is a special donation to the channel by one of our patrons. The guy's name is Jason. And his letter says, "Hey Gary, I've got two things for you here. Might not beat the Orange Spice GameCube from your love, and since you already have the ever so groovy Earthworm Jim on the NES, and since you mentioned how much you enjoyed the custom Metroid NES game I sent over to John Riggs, I thought I'd make something unique for you too. Riggs' game is one of a kind, and now you have something that I made that's one of a kind also. Hint, it looks much more awesome in the dark. Hope it brings you joy. I love your channel. I've never had a Patreon account before you. I'm so happy that you can follow a passion or a dream, if you will, in putting the RoXolid together. I'm sure we're similar in age, so I've got to find that same sort of passion to share with people. And that first item is this bad boy here. It is a custom Mega Man X, and it actually has blue LEDs in it that when you power it on, it lights up. This is super cool. I have a video showing this going and lighting and everything. Hopefully a day or two that'll be up. For the second game, which is what's actually showing right now, I know it's just a Genesis game and you're primarily a Nintendo fan like I was as a kid, but I wanted to send this one over since you've got the OSSC. You already have this game, but this one has been enhanced a little through a patch that edits the color palette to closer resemble the arcade original game that made the voice sample so garbled. Let me reread that. This one has been enhanced through a little patch that adds the color palette to closer resemble its arcade counterpart, and then patched again to correct some issues with the audio driver that was used on the original game, so that made the voice samples garbled. So you get better sound and, to me, overall more enjoyable color. See for yourself when comparing this to the original one. Nothing like super sharp pixels on the OSSC and your HD Retrovision cable. So this is the Street Fighter 2 Special Champions Edition. That's the arcade version. And I'm going to be using the Gamer's Tech 6-button controller just because I don't have an actual Genesis 6-button control. So I've yet to play this yet. I'm going to go to Options and nope, I need to go back in there. Sorry about that. Welcome to all of you who are joining us here on the stream. We had some technical issues that caused our last one to end a little bit earlier than what we wanted, but we are back. All right, there we go. High punch, I want X, and high kick, A. So let's dive into this. So again, got to thank, if you guys see Vorenge, V-O-R-E-N-G-E, on any of the videos, comments, and whatnot, send them a huge thank you. This is super cool. I could not have expected something like this, and this is really awesome. Of course, we're going to go with Ryu. Hey, and I don't start with Dalcine.
Round one, fight.
Now, I am playing using the OSSC and the HD Retrovision cables. I am using line tripling. Blanca has always got such great reach with his kicks and strikes. This is one I think I'd like to have Sean Long take a look at. I know he is a huge Street Fighter fan as well. Now, one thing I got to say is using this controller to fight is definitely a little bit more of a challenge than the Super NES controller, just because I'm not used to using a 6-button controller. The graphics do look sharper. The color palette is a lot brighter. Got him! Really happy tonight, too, to see my Milwaukee Brewers won yet again. I think that's 7 in a row now. 6 or 7 in a row. This definitely sounds a lot more full than the original version of this game for the Genesis. So growing up as a kid, my friend Chris Springham and I used to play this all the time, and he would pick Guile. And he would use that stupid upside-down kick and catch me all the time. And it's normally one of my... That kick right there, I freaking hate that thing. Got him. Chit-chat. That 3D... Dude, the 3DO is actually not a bad deal. I know, too, that my local shop, Live Action Games, has 3DO games if you're looking for any titles in particular. The other one you might want to hit up and talk to is John Riggs. I know that he's got... actually, he may not have a 3DO. He may have... Oh, what's the other one I'm thinking of? Oh, you bastard. Oh, he got me. This does look... I'd say this looks pretty close to the Super NES version, which I always thought was superior graphically. Oof. The one thing I never understood either is that there were a ton of different versions of Street Fighter for the SNES, and yet this is the only version that the Genesis ever got. Got him! No, it wasn't the Jaguar. It was something around the time of the 3DO, and it was disc-based. I can't remember what it was. I know that he's big into the... what was Hudson's? The Turbo Graphics. The Turbo Duo. I know that he was big into that.
Round one, fight.
Got him. Oh, I wish Riggs were on here right now, because it's bugging me. I know that he just got something. TurboGrafx 16. Yeah, it was one of those. Was it Neo Geo? That's what. Or no, it wasn't Neo Geo. You know, I was never a fan of the Neo Geo, but that's part of it was just because it was so damned expensive. And quite honestly, I always thought that Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter were better fighting games. Ken's kicking my ass. Oh! Got you. Take that, Ken. Yes! Got him at the last minute.
You win.
I think one of the things that hurt the CDO... No, the CD... Oh, that's the system... what was it called? It was CDI! That's what it was, the CDI. Both the 3DO and the CDI, I mean, first of all, I don't think that there was a whole lot of differentiation marketing-wise between those two. That really hurt. I think the Neo Geo just was too damned expensive for the average family to afford and appreciate.
Perfect.
Yep, I know that, Damofo. It's just like the Wii version of Earthworm Jim is actually the Genesis edition.
Round one, fight.
Again, this is a special kind of custom patched version of Super Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition called the arcade version. And it's basically been remixed audio and updated visuals to try to more closely represent the arcade version. I always thought Chun-Li's legs looked like a horse's legs when she was doing her super kick. Ooh, threw my ass to the ground. Oh no, no! She got me. Oh, is it pretty good? It's really good, Chit Chat. I'm having issues with the controller just because I'm so used to a Super NES 4-button controller that this is causing me a little bit of an issue. But, you know, a real gamer, as I said earlier tonight earlier today in the Superhero Game Squad stream, a real gamer doesn't blame his controller when he's sucking. Oh, man. Oh, she got me. Oh, she got me.
You lose.
Clean sweep. She got me twice. Let's try Ken for a change here.
Round one, fight.
Well, and I hear you chit chat there, but at the same time, I'm so glad that I ended up doing what I did as far as going with the OSSC and not going with the Super Analog NT, just because I can use this with more game systems, and it was just a little bit more cost-wise. Got her. Yeah, I pretty much sucked on that last match.
Round two, fight.
One of the things I miss from the Super NES versions is the fireball that both Ken and Ryo could do. Got her! Need 6 minutes for my Genesis. What's a good one from Castle? Get the Retrobit ones. The no pun intended, the Super Street Fighter, the Ryo edition. I wish John Geo48 was in here right now. He actually, I did a giveaway with one after I hit, was it 500 or 1,000 that I gave away controllers from Retrobit? I think it was 500.
Round one, fight.
And, or maybe it was 1,000 even. And that controller is really good. I know he likes it. I liked it while I had it before I gave it away to him. Perfect. I've also heard the Hyperkin ones are really good, and I think Adrian at Live Action Games really likes, I think it's Old School makes some that he's pretty high on.
Round two, fight.
I've always had pretty good luck with the Retrobit stuff, so I stay with what tends to work. Like I say, the one that I'm using here, this is the Gamers Tech one from the Super Mini Gen HD. Yes, I am that player that I will just go ahead and throw fireballs at you the whole time. Got him. Hyper came in. Oh, I already read that one.
You win.
Yes, the Dual Link Street Fighter 2 one. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And then the RX10 promo code works on that too. I'm training to be a professional cage fighter. I say that as someone too that hates that movie. Like, it's terrible. Like, almost Breath of the Wild terrible is how much I dislike Napoleon Dynamite. Shut up, Tina. Ladies and gentlemen, Riff from the Superhero Game Squad is in here, who completely sucks at Super Street Fighter, which we saw earlier today. Don't forget to go check out their live... Oh, no, they don't... You guys don't archive your live streams. Ooh. Shut up, Tina, you cow. I'm talking to chicks online all day. Dude, that's like the cheapest move ever. You suck. You take that back. You take that back right now, Riff. Your gameplay is worse than Breath of the Wild, man. Got him. Eat your dang quesadilla. I don't need a quesadilla. I got a peccadilla. Throw a steak at him. Now, I know you don't think that, Aaron, so I mean, I'm not even going to justify that with a response. Not going to justify that. Actually, here, I've got one for you. Let me pause this in a second. I am not a fan of Breath of the Wild. I think it's overrated. Shots fired, dude. Shots fired. Ha ha ha. You can come back with whatever you want. I just got the best one right there.
Fight!
Oof. To the face. Oh, son of a fuck. Damn it. Ooh, is the video stream frozen for you guys? I know I had an issue earlier tonight where it, like, I couldn't do anything on the stream. It just completely died out. I was thinking it was Comcast. Son of a bitch. Oh, he got me. Aaron, say what you will. I got you. I got you. Just like Ryu just got me there. All right, we'll continue one more time before we call it a night here. Again, this game came to us courtesy of our fan Vorenge, aka Jason, one of our patrons. This is a custom version. We'll use E Honda. Custom version of Super Street Fighter 2 Arcade Edition with better audio and video. I can't do the slap. I thought there was one of those things that I just hit punch a bunch of time and you should do the slap. I am in Champaign, Illinois. What up with that? Wow, he kicked my ass. Catch me outside. Actually, Aaron, what I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to do a video on it. I'm going to do a video on it. And, you know, if you would just frickin' call me, I could kind of help you through what you need. Got him. Come on. Yes. You meet up sometime. I'm nearby. Do some game shopping. I want to go hit that arcade that's in Brookfield. That is not an accident. Because if you remember, if you are NWO, you are NWO for life. Bigger fan of the black and white than the red and black. For life. Listen, you keep sending nudes. The thing is, you kept asking for the nudes. That's the problem. I just don't know why you wanted nudes of Castlemania Ryan. Oh, hey, Ryan. How you doing? Oh, crap. Damn it. Or how much I used to live in St. Louis? Yeah, 20. Where? I don't know. I know someone in the Oregon Retro Gamers had mentioned that arcade. I didn't even know it was there, and I'm literally 5 minutes from. I'm on Ogden Avenue, basically twice or 4 times a month, because that's where I meet my ex to pick up my daughter. Kind of by the exit where you get off for the Brookfield Zoo. On 294, not the 294. Got him with just a sliver of life. He's sending him nudes. All right. Delete. Sweep the leg, Johnny. Has anyone seen, by the way, the new Cobra Kai TV show on YouTube Red? I don't know actually if it started yet. But it's got Johnny and Daniel LaRusso in there. And it's basically, they went back to the home of Cobra Kai. Yes! Got him in the end!
You win.
Hey, Ryan, since you are in here, do you have any of the Dual Link Genesis controllers in stock? Chit Chat was asking earlier.
Round 1, fight.
I was definitely Monday Wars time. I was a big WCW mark at the time. Part of it was because it was basically what the WWF was in the 80s. Ooh, nice reversal. Whenever I see E Honda, I think of Fat Bastard. No, it isn't on YouTube. So there we go, Chit Chat. Ryan's got those in stock. I have gone through and watched like the best of the Monday Night Wars documentaries on the network. It's interesting to hear and see, but it's also one of those things of it just reinforces that kayfabe is dead. I also listened to the What Happened When Mondays with Tony Schiavone and Conrad Thompson. I've been listening more and more to Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard. The device I need would be better if they emulate retro games. I can't take all my games into my workplace. So then, at that point, Aaron, what I would recommend for you is 2 devices. I know it's going to suck, but 2 devices. One of them would be the Retrobit Super Retrocade because you can load ROMs on it. And that thing is pretty flippin' awesome. It comes with, what does that thing have on it, Ryan? Like 80 games to start? And then it'll run ROM files, too. And then, what do you want for systems? Super NES, NES, and Genesis? Just Super NES, just NES, just Genesis? What do you want for game compatibility. Holy shit. Well, Dave Meltzer helped kill kayfabe too. Got him! It's like all he's doing is this stupid charge attack. Yeah, if you're looking for something portable, there will be some good options this fall. There you go. Super NES and maybe Sega Master System. You know, quite honestly, and you're not going to hear many people say this, the Retron 5 may not be a bad option for you. Because the Retron 5 will do Genesis, it'll do NES, Super NES. There is, I forget what their adapter exactly is called, but they actually have an adapter that will play Mega Drive, not Master System, but Game Gear games, and I forget what the third. It's a 3-game adapter, basically. Yeah, for what you're looking to do, like I say, I don't know that many people would recommend it, but a Retron 5 may actually be your best option. The one thing I will say, though, on the Retron 5 is you'll want to get some better wireless wired or wireless controllers. The stock controller is pretty much garbage. And that's, like I say, if you're buying right now, like Ryan mentioned, there's better options coming this fall. Oof. Oh, Ryan, while you're here, one thing I wanted to talk to you about, and I've been meaning to talk to you, Retro Gaming Expo. Has anyone talked to the host hotel to see if there's like a block of rooms that is available at a discount? Possibly portable. The Retron 5 will run ROMs. It has an SD card slot. I think you have to be on the latest version of firmware to do that on the Retron 5, though. I know, my Retron 5 is pretty much sitting here right now. I use it basically as a basis of comparison occasionally. If someone just wants to know, hey, how does this system look compared to a Retron 5? The Retron 5 gets a really bad rap because of where they got their source code for the operating system. And I'm not apologizing for them. It's kind of shitty the way that they did it. The stock controller is terrible, but you can use the 8BitDo Bluetooth controllers will work with it. It works with... That's actually the system that got me back. It cannot play Fortnite. That's the system that got me back into retro gaming, quite honestly. And it also... Holy crap, I forgot how tough Sagat was. Oof. Damn, he's got me pinned. If you're looking to play a lot of systems in a small area, Chit-Chat's leaving. All right, have a good night, man. Hey, Chris, how you doing? For the money, and I haven't priced them out in a while. I know I got mine in January of 15 for like $130 from Newegg. I've never seen them that cheap since. Ooh, he pwned me. But yeah, you can run ROMs and everything right on it. You just have to have the latest firmware update. It'll do NES, Super NES, Famicom, Super Famicom, Genesis, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. What else? And then there's that adapter you can get too that'll play the Master System, Game Gear, and I want to say there was a third one.
Round 1, fight!
Oh, got him in the nards. Fudge. No. Got him. Son of a fuck. He got me. Now, if you would be on social media there, Aaron, he could tweet it to you or send you a Facebook friend request or something, but no. You're Mr. Antisocial over there. Got him. Yes!
You win.
Oh, what you gonna be streaming, Chris? The Wii Virtual let me to Retron 5. Yep. See, that's why I get so frustrated with people who crap all over clone systems with, oh man, he knocked me out and then some. That, like, oh, you gotta play on real hardware, because if you're not playing on real hardware, it sucks, because you don't get real audio, and the video's off, and the palette's off, and that, and you know, you can only play in real hardware. Or Super AVS, or Super Analog NT, something like that. You know, clone systems are a great way to inexpensively get back in the hobby if you got out of it. You know, and like you mentioned, the Wii Virtual Console is itself a great way to emulate and recreate the fun of the past. Or at least it used to be before they decided to shut it down. God, that Tiger Uppercut sucks. You're modded Wii at work and have HDMI camera, but it still looks pretty whack. Yeah. And I've probably got the same HDMI adapter that you have. So let me ask you this, Aaron. Are you paying for this, or is work paying for this? And sorry if that's out of line to ask, but it's also going to affect kind of what I'm going to suggest here too. It's kind of the best quality third-party controller available for classic systems as a retailer, I'm sure. Yep. South Park Fractured, but whole.
Round 3, fight!
Damn it. Son of a... Damn it! Oh, so work will pay for it. It's okay. Well, I know, it just... Alright, if you're looking for work, and I'm going to let the timer run out here, and we'll just chit-chat, no pun intended, here for a couple minutes before we wrap things up. What I would recommend going with is I would do, your primary concern is to want to stream. If you're okay with 16:9, I would go with the Super Retro Trio Plus. You know, good value, good control, good response, great support. Palette's good, audio's good. I mean, you can't go wrong. It's a good value for the money. They'll get you NES, Super NES, Genesis, works on cartridges, ready to rock and roll. For running ROMs, probably the best thing would either be if you have the homebrew channel installed on your Wii, use that. Otherwise, pick up a Super Retrocade. That thing is, like I say, it's amazing. The nice thing too, while the connector type is different on the Super Retrocade than on the Super Retro Trio Plus, the controller itself is identical. It's the same mold and everything. They're really comfortable. They work well. So I like them a lot. Trio Plus good since it plays hacks and homebrews. Yep, there you go too. And I've got to ask the question, Ryan, because I don't have one to test. It does run, or will work with EverDrives, won't it? I'm pretty sure it does. I mean, you guys saw me do a lot of streaming with the Super Retro Trio Plus. I'm going to bring the audio down here on Street Fighter because it's kind of loud. Yeah, the Super... Here, hang on one second. I'm going to set the mic down. I'm going to grab the Super Retrocade real quick. All right. So here's the Super Retrocade itself. Let me look at that. Okay. So really nice and tiny. Uses USB connectors, but it's a little limited as far as the controllers that work. I know Retrobit just put out a list. No, I'm not taking my clothes off. You wish. So nice and small. It comes with like 80 games pre-installed, and then it has an SD card slot on the back for firmware updates, or you can actually install ROM files on it too. So, nice. I mean, if you wanted to take this with you portably, this is a really good way to go. I know I've run NES, Super NES, and I want to say I've run Genesis ROMs on here. No issues. And then, like I say, the molds for this controller and for the Super Retro Trio Plus is identical. The other thing you got to remember too is there is the special edition Super Retro Trio Plus coming out that Ryan's going to have available soon that has a blue Joe and Mac. The Scout that connects to the Wii is wireless. Yeah, give me a second. I can grab that one. Where do I have that? It's in there. Give me a second. Because I'll grab the Super Retro Trio Plus controller too real quick. Hang on. All right. It's controller corner. All right. So here's a couple things I'm going to show you here quick. So this is the stock controller that I was talking to you about earlier with the Retron 5. It's crap. It just is. It has a micro switch for a D-pad. The buttons don't feel very good. It's just really not very good. The good thing about that system, though, like I say, is the 8-bit DOE or Bluetooth controllers will pair right to it. Let me do this here real quick, too. I'm going to take that, shrink that down a little bit. Aaron's used to shrinkage. Do this. Bring that right up there. And then we will make the chat a little bit bigger so everyone can see it a little bit easier. There. All right, so that is the controller for the Retron 5. Now this is the wired one that comes with the Super Retro Trio Plus, but this is identical to the wireless Scout for the Super NES Classic Edition. This is the corded version versus the, forget if it's 2.4, it's 2.4 gigahertz, it's not Bluetooth. So, hey Magnus, how you doing? So this is, really comfortable. It's got a good feel to it. It's got these kind of humps molded into the back to give you a really comfortable grip as you're playing. Check out, I've got a video here on the channel going through like some of the best controllers for the Super NES Classic Edition, and they would also work with the Wii if you plug them into the Wii remote. Now, Aaron, I also have for you right here, so this is the Retrobit controller that comes with the Super Retro Trio Plus, and it's also the same design that comes with the Super Retrocade. So button layout, configuration, it's all the same. It's just on this one, it has a Super NES style plug on the end, where the other one comes with USB. And I want to say that it was just today that Hyperkin put something out as far as compatibility for other USB controllers above and beyond this. 8BitDo is nice for sure. They used to sell through distribution. Yep. And I will tell you one other thing about 8BitDo. They don't respond to tweets. They don't respond to messages. They don't respond to emails. They've pretty much kind of given the smaller guys out there the finger, which is kind of sad. Yeah, I think for what you're looking for, Aaron, you're looking at two systems at least. But thankfully, they're relatively inexpensive and they work well. Like I say, my only criticism, my only major criticism, I'll say, on the Super Retro Trio Plus is there's no 4x3 switch. Minor criticism, it would not play my PAL copy of Yoshi's Island, which was a little weird. Beat Cuphead on PC using an 8BitDo. Yeah, I've thought about doing that myself because I don't want to buy an Xbox, but I really want to play Cuphead. I know that I've, not to speak out of turn for Ryan, I know that I've sent him some information with my contacts at Gamers Tech. I know that they're always looking for stuff, so. And if you're looking for stuff too, I'm drinking some Sprecher Cherry Cola. Very, very nice, refreshing soda from the great state of Wisconsin. There's no 4x3. No, there is not. Here, let me grab mine real quick. Really, Ryan? That's weird. But they're also doing a lot through Amazon too, so I wonder if it's the same type of setup as what 8BitDo is, which would be unfortunate because I don't know that they've got the sales like Retrobit or Hyperkin does, and limiting their distribution to one place is not a good idea. So let me grab my Retro Trio Plus real quick. Hang on. See ya, brother. Have a good night. So, Super Retro Trio Plus, you've got your, I believe that's that's the Genesis. That is the Super NES and the NES. And up front, you've got all your controller ports and everything. So you've got Super NES, Genesis, and NES control ports there. You do have an NTSC, PAL, and J switch that is pretty much just for the Super NES side, I believe. I will not, Damofo, first of all, I'm not a drinker, so I don't drink Spotted Cow or beer. And second of all, just from a personal standpoint, the people who run the Spotted Cow breweries are pretty much communists, and I've gone up to Wisconsin enough times, and people have asked me to bring them some back when I come back, and I will not support them whatsoever. So I've been asked many a time, hey, how about some Spotted Cow? Nope. So, and I don't think many of you were here for this earlier. So this game here came to us, first of all, the Super Street Fighter II Special Champion Arcade Edition was sent to us by one of our patrons, Jason, also known as Vorenge. You've seen him here in the chat. So this has an updated sound and color palette that he sent in. And then this guy here, check this out. It is a version of Mega Man X that he did, and the cool thing about it is it's got blue LEDs on the side that light up when you apply power to it. And yeah, this is really cool. You guys are getting a sneak peek at something, excuse me, coming up in a future video. Mofo, nobody is perfect, but they go way out there. Like I don't know if you've ever read or heard of a guy by the name of Bill Penzie from Penzie's Spices. That dude is a lunatic. So, and he's another one where I will not support his company because of the things that he says and does. So, that being said, yeah, so this was super cool, and Jason sent the Super Street Fighter in 2, which was really awesome as well. But these are, you know, probably two of my favorite systems I play a ton. You know, these are really, really, really cool. I don't know where you can download the ROM. I know that Jason, this is something he put together for me and sent, so I don't know if he actually has a ROM writer or what you would call it, but again, I'll read the letter that he sent earlier today. Let's see. I've got two things for you here. Might not beat the orange spiced GameCube from your love, and since someone already gave you the ever so groovy Earthworm Jim on the NES, that would be Castlemania Ryan. And since you mentioned how much you enjoyed the Custom Metroid NES game I sent over to Riggs, I thought I'd make something unique for you too. Riggs' game is a one-of-a-kind, and now you have something I made that is one-of-a-kind also. So very, very cool about that. Hoping to be part of Mars 100 so I can peace out. That's awesome. Chief Faz Squeeze, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. So he put both these games together for me here. You know, first he was the first one to send us something in to try out, or into the what would you call it? Into the mailbox. He broke the cherry. So this is kind of going down, not in a bad way, but kind of going down to an Ask Me Anything. Anyone else have any other questions? It is coming up on 20 to 12, so I figure I've got about 10 or 20 minutes yet. If you guys have any other questions, I'd be more than happy to answer. Here, let me do this too while I've got you here. Let's go through, and so this is line tripling. Here's what line 4 times. So that's what line quadrupling looks like, and it basically turns it into a 16:9 widescreen image at that point. Now, the one thing I'm curious, it won't display on my TV. I want to see if the 5 times will display through to the stream or not. It does. So basically, it's just my TV that will not support it. But that's what 5 times the resolution looks like, and that is super, super sharp. Oh my goodness. Hold on, I'm going to make that ugly mug a little bit smaller so we can check this out here. This is the Genesis in HD with the HD Retrovision. Damofo, I would classify myself as a conservative with libertarian leanings. So, like, for example, I bought a house in 2016. One of the reasons I bought a house in the neighborhood where I'm in was because it did not have an HOA They put one in last year, and next year I will be selling my house because I just don't want to be a part of an HOA. Man, I wish my TV, neither of my TVs supports this resolution, but this looks really sharp looking here. So this is the 5 times process. I'm going to go back to 3. Oh, that's weird how it kind of melted away. That was really bizarre. So this is just 720. That's kind of neat. I hope you guys appreciate being able to see that difference. That was really neat. Yeah, it's really sharp. Even 720p looks really, really good. Our review of the Super NES HD Retrovision cables live already for our Patreon supporters. It'll be live to the public tomorrow. And then our Genesis video, I still need to do the edits on. That will be live, I'm hoping Friday. So that's what we're kind of looking at right now. And then our unboxing video from what we received today from Jason will also be up within the coming days. Any control lag? No. That's one of the beautiful things on the OSSC. Both the OSSC and the Framemeister is basically 0 lag. They each have some different compatibility issues. Like I know the Super NES can be somewhat problematic on the OSSC, but there's basically settings on it that you can go through and kind of cover for that. Were you always a gamer who got back into retro gaming, or you stepped away from gaming entirely? I had always, 5 times looks great. Chris, thanks for stopping by. Last question, where do you get your name? On YouTube. Okay. Let me answer Dave's first, and I'll come to your answer real quick. So I have always played games. I just, until about 10 years ago, basically when a new generation system would come out, I would have to sell the previous generation to help pay for the new one. And about 3 years ago, in 2015, like I mentioned earlier, I bought my Retron 5, and that got me back into playing some of the older games. And, I had bought games to the Wii Virtual Console and stuff along those lines, so I'd always enjoyed it. And just finding the fact that, I can get original hardware and it looks great, kind of really got me back into it. So, always been a gamer since, my first home console, we had Pong. After that, we had the Atari 2600, and I got my NES, I was in 6th grade, I want to say, and I'm 41 now. So the HD Retrovision cables are sold out. Have a waiting list. Good to know. Eugene did not stop by tonight. So where did RoXolid Productions come from? So my brother has a trucking company, or had a trucking company, called RoXolid Trucking, RoCKSOLID. He and his wife, my sister-in-law, and my nephew, they moved from Milwaukee to, I think it was North Dakota, about 8 or 9 years ago. Sold the trucking company. Actually, no, Hunter wasn't even born yet, because Hunter was born in the Dakotas. When they left, they dropped RoXolid Trucking. When they came back, my nephew Hunter was born, and they changed from RoXolid, because they had actually sold that to someone else, to Rock Hunter. And so I decided to go with, I wanted something, I liked the sound RoXolid. I thought it spoke well to the type of content I wanted to produce. And but I wanted to have it spelled differently just to kind of stand out. So I kind of played around with a few things and eventually came up with the RoXolid as you see it there. So that is where RoXolid came from. It was something inspired by my oldest brother and tweaked for my own purposes after he stopped using it. Chief, I would absolutely love an N64 Classic to come out soon. If they're going to do it, I really hope either they come out with longer cables or wireless controllers. So he didn't have a current system between owning the Sega CD and the Wii. So I've owned The NES I didn't get at launch. I got it probably 2 or 3 years after the original, or after it came out. The Super NES I got pretty close to launch. My N64 I got at launch because I reserved it at Electronics Boutique, I believe. My GameCube I got at the Southridge at launch, at Southridge Mall at the GameStop there. My Wii I got at the GameStop down here in Champaign. And my Wii U, thanks for being on. Sounds good, Chris. Have a good stream. I may stop by in a little bit after I get off of this stream here. My Wii U, I actually got, funny story, so in winter of 2014, yeah, it was 14 because I was in the other house, Walmart was running a deal that if you brought in a Black Friday or Christmas ad from another retailer, they'd match it. Well, Sears had a misprint on their site. Magnus, this is a Genesis. What you're seeing on screen, this is a Genesis with HD Retrovision cables. So Walmart was running a deal. They'd match anyone's specials. Sears had a misprint on their website for the Wii U for $60. And I went in to our local Walmart, and I'm like, hey, dude, $60. Will you honor it? And they're like, I guess. So I got my Wii U with Super Mario 3D World and... no, it wasn't Super Mario 3D World. What games did it come with? It came with Super Mario 3D Wii U and Super Mario... It came with 2 games for $60. So that's... Otherwise, I wasn't going to get a Wii U. And I got my Switch on launch day, too. Let's see. Other than that, I owned a Genesis for a short time, and I sold it. And that's the only Sega console I've ever owned. I've never owned a Microsoft console at all. I just don't care for the controller. I've never owned a PlayStation at launch. I got my PlayStation 1. I was working at Radio Shack at the time, and basically the management staff had a rewards catalog where if you earned so many reward points, you could cash it in on different stuff like vacations or luggage or whatever. They had a PlayStation 1 in there, so I won that there. And then my PlayStation 2, my first one, I won at a Radio Shack manager's regional dinner, basically for the Chicago region. And then I bought a second, or I was given a second PlayStation 2 when I first moved down here as a Father's Day gift when I was still with my daughter's mother, because they wanted to keep a PlayStation 2 back in Milwaukee. Basically, every weekend I was driving from Milwaukee to Champaign to visit the family, because we didn't know if we wanted to relocate down here or not. So for 6 months I was driving every Friday night and every Sunday night from Champaign to Milwaukee. So I got my PS2 as a Father's Day gift in 2005, and I got my PS3, funny enough, after my divorce was settled from my daughter's mother. I bought that, and my PS4 I got for a Christmas gift in 2014. Let's see. And I know I'm one of the few people that despises the Xbox controller. I absolutely hate it. Let's see. Am I coming with the GCHD? So worth it. Yep. Man, that thing is awesome. Favorite console launch? I know people hate it because of the short turnaround, but I really think Sega, or maybe it wasn't maybe this is the wrong one, but the 9999, I thought that was the Saturn that had that. It was either the Saturn or the Dreamcast. Someone correct me. No, it had to have been the Dreamcast, because... No, that was the Saturn, because the Dreamcast was closer to the 2004-2005 era. And I know that it was just one of those that the short turnaround that, hey, this is when it's coming out, and retailers couldn't get them in time. But I thought the marketing was just spot on for it. I thought that probably... All right, it was the Dreamcast. Really? Dreamcast was out that early. Wow. I really think that Microsoft screwed the pooch on the launch of the Xbox One with the cost, and then you have to have Kinect. No, you don't need to have Kinect. Hey, it's always got to be connected to the internet. No, you don't always have to be connected to the internet. I think that was probably one of the worst launches. I don't know that Nintendo's ever really done a great launch outside of New York or LA. Because that's the only place when they have any regional presence or any corporate presence. I'm only 20, so I've always wanted Sega consoles like CD, Saturn, Dreamcast, Genesis. I'll get them one day. Yep. Well, and I will tell you, Chief, I just picked up, I mentioned earlier tonight, I won an auction on eBay last night that I've got a Model 2 Genesis, a 32X, and a Sega CD coming. And that's as a Nintendo fanboy, never really having those consoles. So for me, a lot of it is going to be first-time experience with those games. And I'm excited for it. What I'm not excited about is I started looking at what the cost of the Sega CD games was. Holy cow! Earthworm Jim Sega CD is $200 plus for bad editions. That's kind of scary. Yep, right by Microsoft actually is right near Redmond as well. And the thing I think is funny is their customer service number is the same today as it was back with the launch of the NES, 1-800-255-3700. The reason I remember that is that 255 is a prefix in the town that I grew up in Menominee Falls. It was either 251 or 255. So that's one of the reasons why I remember that. And 3700, it's a round number. I know people... I wish John would have shown up tonight. I emailed him, let him know that we were going to be streaming. Geo48, huge Genesis fan. I think, Ryan, you've gotten to know him quite well right now. But he's trying to get me into buying a Dreamcast. And I keep looking at the library. It's like, there's nothing I want to play. I don't know if there's anything out there compelling that I'd really want. If there's anything you guys could suggest. Dreamcasts are cheap, so I'd consider picking them up. Nintendo family is starting to... One thing, Chief, if you haven't done so for your NES games and Super NES games, if you want to inexpensively grow your collection, look at Famicom and Super Famicom games. I know Ryan's got the 60 to 72 pin adapters so you can play Famicom games on the NES. And there are a ton of Super Famicom games you can play on the Super NES. You've got to mod your console slightly. There's two tabs basically in the cartridge slot you basically have to break off. If you don't care about that, great. Excuse me. I actually own both a Super NES and a Super Famicom just because I could. But there are so many great games you can get for the Super Famicom that are a lot cheaper, and for the Famicom too, that are a lot cheaper than the NES counterparts. I know you can't... Well, here, let me grab them. So, here's 2 out of the 4 Mario games I've got, right? These are both for the Famicom, and I think for all 4 games, I paid under $30. For Super Mario Brothers 2 in the US, you're looking $20. The original Super Mario Brothers is cheap because, it came with every system. Super Mario 3 is $10 to $20 depending on condition. And I've also got the Famicom Disk System version of the actual Super Mario Brothers 2, which we got as the Lost Levels. But what's nice with these is I don't need to know any Japanese to play those. There's no dialogue or whatnot to worry about. Now, The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, I have the Super Famicom version of it. And the reason I bought that is because you can do language patches with the Retron 5. you know, that game is pretty much impossible for me to play without that language patch. OSSC is hard to get in Canada. You should be able to get them through the same place that I did here in the U.S., Magnus. If you want, email me, RoXolidMail@gmail.com. I'll send you a link to where I got mine through. They're in the UK. If my advice, cheap, instead of doing an AV to HDMI, would just be to just get that 60 to 72 pin adapter and don't worry about a Famicom itself. See, the original Famicom, the Japanese Famicom, did not have an audio video output. Oh, good call. I forgot about that day that you could just use the Game Genie to use the Super Famicom. Good call. So the original Famicom, if that's what you're talking about, in Japan did not have AV outputs. It was only coaxial, and you had to tune to like channel 1 or 0 or 99 or some weird thing like that. Now, you can get Famicoms relatively inexpensively, under, I'd say, $75, that have been AV modded to have audio-video output. If you're going to do that, quite honestly, just get that 60 to 72 pin adapter. Ryan's got them in stock. They're relatively cheap. And you can play the Famicom games right through your NES and your... Unless you absolutely want each system, and I kind of did, that's why I've got one. There's no need to purchase one separately. Like right now, I'm to the point with looking at these cables, like, okay, now I want an AV mod, or not AV mod, but RGB mod, my Sharp Famicom Twin. I want to, do that to my top loader. I want to do that to my Famicom, so I can use the HD Retrovision cables, because they're just freaking amazing. That was a bit of a long-winded answer, I know. I'm sorry. Thanks, GeekGo, for subscribing. I appreciate that. I always appreciate new people signing on. We are knocking on the door at 3,000 subs. A little bit over 100 away right now, I want to say. Let's check exactly what we're at as far as subscriber count. We are at 104 away right now, so that's pretty cool. It's pretty exciting. Let's see. Yes, absolutely. What Dave just said there, the My Life in Gaming guys are awesome. Worked this summer to invest in some retro games because I need to build my collection. Thanks, I'll check them out for sure. Yep. Check my HD, or not HD Retrovision, my OSSC review I just posted. I've got a link to them in there too that you can check out. They have, it is their RGB Masterclass, I think is what they call it. I've learned so much from Tri and Corey, and they are just super sharp. They are on it. They know this stuff like the back of their hands. All right, it is 12 minutes. You had it mentioned a new shirt design. Do you have an example? Well, yes and no. So it's going to be this logo in the upper left-hand corner. Wrong thing. So let me do this. That. So it's basically going to be that logo. And it will basically, what I'm looking at, I like this shirt, but I'm not thrilled with it. Just the actual t-shirt itself. What I'm looking for, bear with me. I was actually working with my people today on this. I also want to get my RXP logo here on the sleeves. And I'm also working on business cards too, so that when I'm up at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo and other things, I can hand out cards to people if they ask, who the hell are you and why do I care? Let's see. There we go. I'm actually going to just paste the link because I would have to add a layer and whatnot. Where did that go? Sorry, guys. Going through my emails. There we go. Oh, crap. Does it allow me to do it? I think it will. Alright, sorry. I know this is enthralling, isn't it? So, if you check out the link I'm going to paste here. Oh, shit, I can't. Give me a second. I've got to use a link shortener. Sorry, guys. It's taking me a moment. Shirts are available upon request. They're $25. Just basically it's what it will cost me to have it printed and shipped. I'm looking for cheaper options. Alright. But right now that is the cheapest that I can find. Go with stickers. I've thought about that too. I actually wanted to talk to the 1UP guys and see if I could do something as well. So if you click on that link I just pasted in there, that's kind of the style I'm looking for as far as the shirt itself. So that should kind of give you an idea. I've just always liked that two-tone style shirt myself. Luigi's, I really wish that they would bring that new Luigi's Mansion to the Switch that's on the 3DS. Oh, crap. Hang on. Alright, Roxanne, what did you do here? Maybe it's this one. Sorry about this, guys. So this is the original one that I had found and sent here. Try that one. But I want to go where that's more of a dark gray and a lighter gray. I want to go with more of a black on a gray. I think that would contrast better with my colors and everything that I have. I had actually originally thought about doing something like that, but with just the logo and not doing the cartridge design like what I have here, it just didn't look good. And now this is the second version of my logo that I've worked on. You know, the talented Dave Baker did the original for me, and I've kind of made some tweaks to it. Chief, this is going to disappoint you. I'm not a Paper Mario fan. I'm just generally not a fan of RPGs. The one on the Wii is okay. But that's really about the only one I've played a whole lot. Let me know if that link worked, by the way. Yeah, any RPG like Final Fantasy, no. People kind of gasped when I did my video showing how to hack the Super NES Classic Edition, and I said I removed Earthbound from the system. So, I'm not saying other people can't enjoy them, I'm just saying they're not my speed. And then, Ryan, I sent you, or I'm repeating myself, I'm starting to get tired. I sent you just some examples earlier of some business card stuff I was working on. I'd almost thought, too, like I mentioned, of talking to the 1UP guys and seeing if I could get that printed on a 1UP card and at least then have something tangible to hand people. Yeah, Luigi's Mansion at $40, but man, it's the original one. It's worth it. It's really worth it. All right, it is 10 after 12 here. Now, an RPG I've been wanting to learn, and the Wii is fun, but I haven't played a lot of it. Now, I have my Wii soft modded with the Homebrew channel, so basically I've got everything on a hard drive for the Wii. That is just one of the best things about that system. Especially having had 2 kids at the time that were both under 10. That would be cool. Yeah, so my thought would be talk to them about pricing and, you know, if and when, like, when I come out to Portland Retro Gaming Expo this year, I'll help you and John out with the booth and whatnot. I'm going to walk around and film and such. I'm probably going to end up picking up a Steadicam, too. I'm going to talk to John about that, let him know that I'll probably do that, and if he wants, he's more than welcome to use it while we're there. You know, when I actually have, like, a booth that if I'm going to set up somewhere that, hey, this is Gary from whatchamacallit, that, you know, once I kind of get more established, you know, I might look into doing something like that, or even doing something for sale. We'll see. Never beat I remember beating Luigi's Mansion and getting past that the baby, and it just was very satisfying at the end. Let's see, that'd be cool. Adam Corlick will be there. Oh, at up in Portland. I'm thinking Adam will probably. I'm hoping to hook up with him and John at the St. Louis Game Con or the Missouri Game Con, because that's one of the reasons I know that Jay from the NES Attic is kind of wanted me to come down to the Southeast Gaming Expo, but I think that's like the weekend right after Missouri Game Con, and I don't think I want to do 2 cons back to back like that, especially those will be on my own dime and everything. And, you know, at least Portland, you know, that's kind of a trip, but that's later on in the year. And Missouri, that's a day trip where I can drive down. It's 3 hours there, 3 hours back. That's no big deal. And even if I just do one night hotel, at most I'm just paying for gas, you know. So what is the thing I've always wondered, if you, and I don't know if you know him, Ryan, or not, what does Adam do for work? Is he just full-time YouTube now, or is he almost seems like he's in a consultant type position where he gets to travel so much, but I don't even know. I know I'd like to come out to California later this year if Retrobit is having anything special going on. Hint, hint, nod, nod. No can do. Do you think could ever have an attachment that will let play retro game cartridges on the Switch? No. There's no way. You'd have. First of all, the size of the cartridge door is so small that what channel you know him for? It's his smallest channel. No crap. Wow. Okay. And he still doesn't have a proper microphone when he films. That kills me. You would put way too much stress on the Switch cartridge slot to try to put any kind of cartridge adapter on there. They'll do a virtual console of some type before they do a cartridge. I'll take this to the bank. You will never see a cartridge adapter for the Switch. Alrighty guys, it is 10 after 12. I am tired. I have a meeting tomorrow morning at like 7:30 or 8 o'clock, so I think I'm going to log off for the evening. Those who came around for both streams, I appreciate it. Ryan, thanks for stopping by. Thanks everyone for stopping by. Make sure that you check out CastlemaniaGames.com. Use promo code ROX10 and you can save 10% off just about anything in the store. Spend 20 bucks or more, and you get free standard ground shipping and handling. If you guys want, you know, don't forget, it would be cool if the Switch had an DS would be cool. DS would be very cool. I don't think it'll happen, though. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe on the channel. I know we brought up shirts a little bit earlier. If you want them, 25 bucks. You can always email me, RoXolidMail@gmail.com. We can set something up through PayPal, and we can get them ordered. And we'll go from there. As demand grows, I think it'll be easier to get swag and whatnot. As of right now, there's very little demand for that type of stuff yet. Just because we're kind of small, but we're getting there. You know, I wouldn't be where I'm at now without each and every one of you guys coming and hanging out on live streams or commenting on videos or sharing or hitting up Facebook, Twitter, you name it. There is a jailbreak coming for the Switch. And the way it sounds, it is not something that Nintendo can patch because it is basically not an attack, it's a vulnerability in the CPU itself, is my understanding. So it's more... Ryan, you got one coming, by the way, out of this next batch. You're going to get one, Adrian's getting one, and there's a couple other people that are going to get shirts that I'm going to take care of on that. It's about time to get more than just Riggs a shirt. So I will get all your guys' information, and we will go from there. And get some rest, go out, and have some fun with your video game hobby. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Good night, everyone.